Hello everybody, welcome back to day 19 of Artgust. Today's art prompt is Pareidolia. If you don't know what Pareidolia is, it's the phenomenon of interpreting patterns and meaning from something in which there is none. A lot of times this is finding shapes and images in random things we see, like seeing animals in the shapes of clouds, or faces in the ceiling plaster. Although it also encompasses other senses, for example, hearing music in the random sounds of a fan. It's an interesting thing that we as people do. I brought back a sort of classic game for today's prompt, in which one person draws a squiggle, and then someone else has to turn it into something. Now, I probably should have been more specific when I asked my friends to draw squiggles, because I just told them to make a squiggle on a page, and I was expecting little tiny squiggles, like here's one little squiggle over here, and here's another from someone else over here, but almost all of the people I asked to make squiggles took up pretty much an entire page. I only had one friend who was an exception to the rule, and I think that's because the person had a very, particular vision for their squiggle, but for the most part, people went quite large with their doodling, which is fine. I can work with that. I don't know that I'm going to use every piece of every person's drawing, but I do want to at least find one thing in each page today. Make something for each person who is nice enough to draw something for me. I pulled out a bunch of markers because I don't want to cover up the lines that people drew too much, but we can use them to fill in the objects and such that we see. Alright, I guess we're going to start with this page since the rest of my pages are currently being held down. Thanks, Luna. I'm going to label this page number 1 real quick. That way if you see something in this image, you can refer to it in the comment section and let me know. The first thing I notice in this scribble is some of these shapes. It kind of looks like a bat to me, so I'm thinking we'll do a bat, or a couple of bats. Here, I'll just outline that so you can see what I'm talking about real quick. Although, now that I have that, this alternatively kind of looks like teeth, and this kind of looks like a tongue now that I'm looking at it. These are weird teeth, these are weird teeth, and this is a tongue? I might pivot. This might be a mouth, actually. And this is the back of the throat. Let me see if I can show you what I mean. It's like a creature's mouth. We'll give it a couple of eyes. Weird mouth creature. What do you think, Luna? Is this you? Are you the weird mouth creature? Alright, Luna, can I have another one? Thank you. Alright, drawing number 2 is a little bit more swirly, a lot of loop-de-loops and softer shapes, not as many of the sharp points like the last one. And immediately I know what I want to do. I see a snail. Here's the eye stalks, and then here's the body, and then here is the shell. Let's go blue for the shell. And maybe this is some slime. The snail feels like it needs to continue back here. Slime! I like this little snail guy, he's so cute. He's even got little eyes here. We'll give him a little leaf snack, too. He's wonky, but I like him. I suppose I don't need to make little creatures for all of these, but it is kind of fun. Tell you what, let's maybe make one that's not a creature. Draw number 3, let's do this one. A very strong shape. I think my friend was going for something specific here, and I can only assume that it was a lovely duck pond, since that's what I see. With a little tiny duck, and maybe some ducklings. Let's see, maybe some trees around it. This one could be overhanging the pond a bit. And how about a little park bench? What is the perspective on this drawing? I'm not sure. Some tall grasses for the ducks to hang out in, and then a little picnic blanket. Oh, if we're doing the blanket, we need a picnic basket too, actually. There we go, a beautiful little duck pond. See, I also kind of see a tree here on page number 4. Or fire or something, maybe with a dragon. It feels like there's a lot of different squiggles here, and they're all quite different from each other. Actually, you know what's drawing my attention? This little tiny one right here reminds me of a lion or a dog or something. There's an eye and a nose and a sort of mane here. Should I just do this little tiny squiggle? I'm gonna do this little tiny squiggle. So here's the ear, and an eye, and a nose. This shape makes me think dog, but the mane makes me think lion. So let's see if we can turn this into a lion. Luna, I need you for reference. This is how she's sitting next to me at the moment. It kind of ended up sphinx-like almost. Alright, here's my derpy lion. He kind of ended up a cross between a dog and a lion. Maybe it's a dog dressed up as a lion for Halloween. Page number 5 has a bunch of disjointed squiggly bits going on. I can definitely see some sort of animal again with a back leg here and like rearing back. This looks like a little smile. I'm kind of seeing a dragon in here almost, which I'm sure the person who did the squiggle will be very happy to know because I happen to know that they love dragons. And I also happen to know that their favorite color is purple, so let's see if we can turn this into a purple dragon. This looks like the end of a tail here. This is a leg, a back leg, which is maybe a bit weird with how the tail is over here, but we'll figure something out. And then this is a front leg almost. Alright, let's see if we can make the tail make sense. Does this kind of make sense? Maybe? Maybe. It's a very squiggly dragon. Here's the head up here. It's a very friendly dragon. Just look at that smile. Okay, let's see if we can add some depth to it. Do dragons usually have spikes? Sure, why not? Aw, I like our little dragon. We'll turn this into a cloud up above them, too. There we go. There's our wiggly dragon. This is so much fun to do. If you haven't done something like this before, I would really recommend it. Strangely, the first thing I see on page number 6 here is a bottle of some sort. I don't know what's in the bottle, but I'm seeing a bottle. Should we go with it? I'm not seeing a bunch of other things. I keep coming back to the bottle, so let's just go with it. See, here's the shape of the bottle. And then we'll do a little glass stopper, too. Maybe this is some sort of potion? I think I'll just leave it as a bottle. I'm not sure what else I want to add to it. If you have any ideas, you can let me know what might be inside of it. Alright, on page number 7, we could all kind of see the same thing right after my friend drew it. It kind of looks like a person hugging something. Like, here's an arm. This is the other arm. They do perhaps need a shirt. They seem a bit naked at the moment. They're kind of shaped like a ghost, but I don't think I want to go that direction. I'm not sure what they're hugging. Perhaps we'll do that. There, that's cute. They need pants. And then our swirly swoops can connect to the hearts. There we go. That's all of them. This is a really simple activity to do with friends or even by yourself. If you aren't sure what you want to do, if you just want to draw some random things and just want a very low stakes way to do some drawing, it doesn't need to end up a masterpiece. It's just fun. Let me know which drawing was your favorite and what other things you saw in the scribbles down in the comments. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. Bye!